So, it's me, Tokkuri Yashi, and today we are back to have a look at our first summer character this year, Summer Eris, and pay close attention to her kit because it does very closely resemble a biblionic character. So, first of all, quickly, let's have a look at her banner. As we can see here, no surprise, she is a limited character here until the 10th of July. After that, I suspect we have got the Summer Sheffy and Precia. One of the two will be next in line. Both of them are very, well, I think a bit funny for summer characters. Sheffy is an ice cube that's going to melt, so we've got a puddle of water, or Precia, who's a piggy, going to be roast pork. So we're either going to get a puddle of water or roast pork next. I hope Precia puts her sun cream on. We don't want her to become roast pork. So here is our graphic of Eris again. As we can see, she is a buffer wind character, magical, and sits in the rear guard there at position 785, so just behind the ceremonial Ranfer. You can see she has got a lot of skills here, so we'll better get on with going over them. But first, her loop pattern down at the bottom, we can see she does her special skill 2 first. She does not have any normal attacks in her loop pattern. When she finally gets to looping, it's just skill 2 and then skill 1 loops continuously. So that's pretty good. So let's put this loop pattern at the bottom so we can see it and go over and have a look at her skills. So here is Summer Eris there. We did do our summons for her yesterday. Thank you to everybody that came to watch them, to watch our saviour being summoned. If you haven't watched them yet, then please feel free to go and have a look at the summons. So let's jump over then and see what this Summer Eris does. So, first of all, we're going to have a look at this skill 2, as it is the first action she does when she enters battle. And as we can see here, this skill 2 grants herself a Crown of Thorns. Now, what did I say about a biblionic reference there? Our Eris here has a Crown of Thorns, and until the end of battle, when she has this Crown of Thorns on her, she will give herself minus 9,999 physical and magical defense and minus 9,999 TP boost. So, as you can see here, she has a Crown of Thorns on her. She is extremely debuffed, dragging her crucifix to the crucifixion sites, and is pretty nerfed in battle. So, what can we do about this Crown of Thorns? Well, we're going to have a look at this skill 1 first here, because we can have a look at this and it will help us understand the Union Base and skill 1 and 2 a little bit better. So, this skill 1 activates when hit points reaches 0. So yes, our Summer Eris has to die and be reborn again. She will resurrect when this skill is activated the first time. It will remove her Crown of Thorns and all of the debuffs that she gets when she has the Crown of Thorns on, restores her hit points significantly. They're 82,000. Mine is limit broken again, I will say, so these numbers are slightly higher than if she wasn't. So that'll be a full heal to herself. And in addition, she will grant salvation to all of her worshippers until the end of battle. So they will all allies will get a magical attack power increase of nearly 50,000 for 180 seconds. Magical defense power will be greatly increased by 429 for 180 seconds. You'll get the magical crit rate increase of 300 there, 180 seconds. Magical crit damage increase 30% for 180 seconds, and increases the magical damage dealt by 10% for 180 seconds. Now that last bit there, increased magical damage dealt by all allies, that's the same thing that Lariel has on her status effect, on her arena effect. So all of these buffs, team-wide, all allies will be getting all of these. She will also then grant herself a harmonious state, and when she is in this harmonious state, Eris's damage will be calculated on either the highest of her physical or magical defense. Whichever defense is highest, that is what will be calculated when she is damaged. This skill can only be activated once, so if she dies a second time, then, well, that's it. I'm afraid she's out of the battle. So, there we go. There's a special skill 1 and 2. So, let's move over then and have a look at the Union Burst. Now, we can see here, the Union Burst deals double instance magical damage to one enemy character in front of you. That's 3.2 times magical attack. Also deploys a magical nullification barrier to all allies, which will nullify 21,420 magical damage. But if she has a Crown of Thorns, then the effects of this skill will be greatly reduced. The damage will go from 3.2 to 0.3 times magical attack, and then you'll only get a 3,000 damage nullification barrier instead of the 21,000 odd. So extremely nerfed until she loses her Crown of Thorns. Each time she does this skill, she will consume 10% of her hit points. The amount of hit points consumed by this skill will increase each time a skill is activated. So she will soon start damaging herself quite seriously. We'll have a little look at that in a little bit. You will not get TP though from any damage that she inflicts on herself. So you can see there with the Crown of Thorns, pretty debuffed skill with this harmonious state with the Crown of Thorns gone. Double instance magical damage there, 3.2 times, and a damage nullification barrier for magical damage to all allies. So then, skill 1. This skill will increase the magical attack power of all allies by a large amount. We have nearly 12,500 there, and restore a medium amount of hit points, 41,500-ish hit points to all allies there. And some TP as well, 50 TP to all allies. Now this is when she's in a harmonious state. If she has the Crown of Thorns up, which she will have at the beginning of the battle, the effects of this skill will be greatly reduced. She will only be increasing the magical attack power by 1,500. The hit points restoration will go from 6 times her skill level to 0.6 times the skill level. And she will only be restoring 5 TP as opposed to the 50. The same with the Union Burst, it will do 10% damage to her with the Crown of Thorns on it. The damage will increase again the more skills she has done. So she will soon be doing quite considerable damage to herself. No TP from damage that she does to herself. But take a breath, this Eris is, well, there's a lot going on here. Skill 2, so this skill 2 will deal large amount of single target magical damage to one enemy character in front of you, 2.4 times the magical attack, greatly reduce the physical attack power of the opponent there by 7,140. The magical attack power will also be reduced by 7,140, but as with all the other skills here, if she has this Crown of Thorns granted, this skill will be debuffed. The magical attack damage will go from 2.4 to 0.3 times magical attack, and she'll only be reducing the defenses by 800, not the 7,000 odd that she has got without the Crown of Thorns. And again, 10% damage to herself with Crown of Thorns, which will increase the more skills she does, and she does not get TP when she damages herself. What a mouthful. Right, so there we go. That is our Messiah Eris in a nutshell. So let's do a little bit of testing with her, see how long it does take her to die, and how good is she actually on this wind magical team. So let's take our Summer Eris then into some training fights, just so we can have a look at how she works and try to answer a few questions. So first of all, how long will it take Eris to die, to commit Sudoku, if she's not getting hit by boss? So this boss here is not doing a huge amount of damage to her. Maybe we should put a tank in front of her so she's not getting hit. But we can see here she's damaging herself quite back there. 106. She's died. The Crown of Thorns is gone. Let's try and rerun that back again. We shall witness, and we'll see how many skills she has to actually do before she goes down. Maybe we'll put Monica in front of her so that she's not directly getting hit by this boss, even though this boss is very weak. Slow it right down. So, one skill there. She's done her skill 2. She's put the Crown of Thorns on it. on herself. Then there's one skill, damage, second skill, a little bit more damage. Where does it come in? Third skill, and then fourth skill, and then she goes down. Was that the fifth skill or the fourth skill? But anyway, it's around about 107, 106 seconds that she seems to be committing to Sudoku and then removing that crown of thorns there and getting all of these extra buffs. So what happens then if we have Prefest Eris on the team as well with another resurrection, with another revive? Will that stop the Summer Eris from removing her crown of thorns? Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's see what happens here. You still have the crown of thorns on, taking a bit of damage. There's a little bit of healing. Maybe one problem we might have is if you have too many healers on the team, and this Summer Eris is being healed up too much, she's not going to commit Sudoku and end up dropping and losing that crown of thorns. And she still has it now. There we go. She's still down. Actually, they're at 105. Maybe the damage that she does to herself means that that's not a problem. But the crown of thorns went even with Eris on the team, the previous Eris on the team. So I don't think that is going to be a concern. You will still lose this crown of thorns regardless. So finally then, let's take a look how Summer Eris performs in a battle against this Goblin Rider here. That was an opponent in the last clan battle. I've just been in and taken on the Goblin Rider here. We see we get 214 million damage, and we use this Wind Magical team, the team that I used in clan battle this last month to take on this Goblin Rider. So what we're going to do then is 120 million from Branford there. I'm trying to remember that. 214 million damage total. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back in to this Goblin Rider and we're going to take out Uni and we're going to put in our Summer Eris here. And we're going to send this fighting. So we're going to put 214 million we have to beat. Let's see how this does then. First of all, it's a bit quick, but you can still see that crown of thorns on Eris there. She should be losing it somewhere pretty quickly. Right, yeah, it's already gone. We didn't even see her die and come back, but you can't see the crown of thorns on there anymore. So I don't think the crown of thorns is too much of an issue. I think she'll probably die anyway, somewhere around that 105 mark. Unlike the Alchemy Girls that are stronger the last 30 seconds, I think she'll be on top form for more than a minute of the fight left. Like, it is pretty quirky, to be honest with you, but you know, they have to think outside of the box, because every character is going to be the same, so I don't mind that at all, actually. Having some of these different effects in her kit, just to make them characters a little bit different, otherwise, like I said, everything will be the same. So, damage-wise, she does do double instance damage, as well as those huge buffs to the team, so against this Goblin Rider, let's have a look at what damage she does and how much more the team can do. Just full auto. There are timelines, and was timelines for that original team with Uni in it. So I imagine with a timeline for this team, we could probably eke out even more damage. But there we go. We have 223 million damage, so the damage is up. It's not massively up, but it is definitely up. To be honest with you, Ralph has a little bit less damage, and Eris's damage itself is very good, but this is a multiple target boss. Remember, she is single target, so against a single target opponent, her damage is probably going to be equivalent to the ceremonial Chica there. But what we can see there then, just on a simple automatic time here against the Goblin Rider, Eris is looking like an improvement to this Wind Magical team. I think she is going to fit in here pretty well, and I don't think we're going to have too many worries about this Crown of Thorns, and her coming to Sudoku and everything will be okay with her. I think very good character, if not a little bit quirky. And finally, we have got Jesus Christ in Princess Connect. I'm Tokkuri Yashi. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye. Yay! Look, she's even walking on water.